Hello and welcome to my video today. I got a package in from someone new. This company is called River Rat Decals and they have sent me a welcome package for the Fisker Ocean. So let me open it up and check it out. All right, this is wrapped in bubble wrap. And here we have 3D printed Aero flaps. So if your vehicle has lost its Aero flaps over time since you've owned the car, these are replacements that fit in the exact same spot. Here's a close-up view of them. There's some double-sided tape here. And we have openings for the bolts. And this one is pretty much the same. So I'll show you how these work in a little bit. We have a tube here. Let's see what's inside of this. We have a replacement Fisker vinyl wrap for the area that's above the spoiler on the back of the car. Looks to be the same size. I'll verify that. Let me peel up a corner here and see what it looks like. And we can see it is kind of like a teal blue. So that's pretty cool. There is a t-shirt. I'll open this up and show it in a little bit. And then we have this bag. This says Fisker Ocean Battery Indicator OBD-II. Let's see what's inside this. Very interesting. Has a suction cup for this. And this appears to be a battery monitor. This end gets connected to the OBD-II connector in the vehicle. That's below the dashboard to the left of the steering wheel. So I'll look and see how this works. And lastly, what do we have here? We have a bunch of stickers. And we also have PPF for the door handles. So that is most likely this one right here. I've recently installed a set like this on my Fisker Ocean on the 4 door handles. So I'll give a link to that video to show you how to install them. So that is pretty nice. What else do we have here? We have a bunch of little Fisker logos. We have a plastic squeegee with the felt tip on it. And Fisker Ocean, thank you for supporting. We hope you enjoy these free Fisker stickers and so on. Scan for instructions. And then let's see what's inside of this one here. These are replacement door handle inserts. The clear section where you have the LED light shining through. If you have the issue where they are cracking on your vehicle, it's due to them not being UV resistant. These are supposedly UV resistant, 3D printed, and these can be inserted into the same area. So what you have to do is remove the door handle cover, remove the old broken insert, place this one inside, and glue the handle cover back on. All right. Well, that about covers all the things that came in the box. I'll cover each of these individually coming up right now. This week we had Tropical Storm Debbie come through our area, and it caused a lot of rain. In fact, I've had my car for 9 months and the Aero flaps were working great until the storm came when we had so much rain. And as you can see, it is kind of torn right here and it's loose. So when you drive the car, it bangs on the car itself or gets caught on the tire. As you can see, it's rubbing off here. So it's very noticeable from the interior of the car when you have this issue. And I finally have succumbed to the damage that many people have had on these Aero flaps. And it is kind of fortuitous that River Rat Decals sent their kit the same week that I needed to replace this. So I am going to show you how to remove the original Aero flap and install the new one. Here are the tools I'm going to be using today for installing the Aero flap covers. Either one of these trim tool pieces for removing the trim clips on the outside of the flap area. Also, a ratchet with a 10mm socket for removing the 3 bolts that keep it in place. All right, here you can see the Aero flap here. It is held into place by a number of clips and a bolt here. In fact, this is a 10mm bolt, which I'm going to use my ratchet wrench on and take that off now. So let me start that. Make sure it's going in the right direction. Lefty-loosey. And it should be loose enough to take it out with my hand. We'll place that aside. And then we have a couple of trim clips. There is one up here and one down here. I've now moved the camera around so you can see this side. I'm going to use this trim removal tool and place it underneath that clip and then slowly pop it out. Then I can push this underneath now and then remove the clip itself. There we go. And you may have to move this out of the way so we can access this. One thing you can do is there's another trim clip down here. You see if that helps. That gives some more access to this. All right, so now I've moved this kind of a fibrous cover here from the wheel well, and you can see that there's 2 additional bolts here that we need to remove. So I am going to use my ratchet. Actually, let me aim this up a little bit so you can see it better. And I will remove these now. All right, so this bolt is now loose. I can pull this one out. And now we have one more over here. All right, so this one is now out too. So if you notice, the entire Aero flap is now removed. When you're putting everything back together again, we have the 2 trim clips here. They are identical, so it doesn't matter which one you put in which location. The same with the 2 inside bolts. These are 10 millimeters. And just remember that the longer 10 millimeter one is the one that goes outside and the furthest in towards the center of the car. So as long as you have these arranged, you should be good to go. And now we can take our new Aero flap. I have the protective red plastic removed. So let me take the rest of it off right now. One thing I want to make sure is this area here I didn't mention before. It's probably a good idea to clean this off so that when the double-sided tape adheres to this, it has a good place to attach. So let me take the new Aero flap and I'm going to insert it into the area here. And what I'm going to do is kind of do a rough fit. I don't want to attach the adhesive yet. I want to place the 3 bolts in. So this time I'm going to put the bolts back here on first. I'm just going to hand tighten it. There we go. And then the same thing, I'm going to put the bolts in for the top section. Hand tighten that. It's a little harder to see in that area. I apologize if I'm blocking it with my hand. And then the other bolt right next to it. Insert that into the opening. And I'm gonna hand thread that one in too. All right, so everything looks to be good here. All right, so I am going to do the rest of the bolt tightening here. All right, so now we have all the bolts done. I am going to press down on the adhesive onto the trim area. Gonna hold that down for a little bit. And while I'm doing that, I can place the last 2 trim clips in. There's one trim clip that goes underneath right here. Then you can pop it into place. Sometimes it's easier to use that trim tool to get some pressure on it. There we go. And now we can fold the fabric back down. And, sorry for the dust. And that folds underneath here. There it goes. All right, so that is done. And now I take the last clip here, insert that one right there. Right like that, and then press that one in. So I'm going to use the trim tool to do that too. There we go. Nice. So as you can see, it's nice and flush with the surface. And we have the left side installed. So as you can see, it's actually fairly quick to install these Aero flaps. Much less than I originally thought from just looking at them. Let me give you another view and see the front. Here I am on the right side of the car. My last road trip caused this to happen. Half of my Aero flap came off while driving. So this is what's left of it. So I need to remove this whole thing so I can put the new one on. So I can start removing some of the clips here. There's one right there. Get my tool in there. And then I pop that out, and now I can get the base of it. There we go. A little dusty back there. And here's another one right here. Sorry, camera. And let's see, we have a bolt right here. So I am going to take the 10mm ratchet wrench here. All right, that should be coming out now too. There it goes. Now we're going to have to get some space here. This trim, I'm going to have to pull out a little bit. So I'm going to use a plastic pry bar and kind of pull this out to get access under here. There are two more bolts right here. I am going to detach them now. All right, there is one, and there's one right next to it. And there it goes. And with that last bolt, this whole thing is now loose, and it comes right out. Now I have the replacement Aero flap right here. I am going to remove the 3M double-sided tape, the red protective pads off of that. So let me get that off first. As you can see right here, I have these three loosened right here. I'm going to remove the rest of them. Now we have just the double-sided tape. I'm going to insert this right in this location here. Before I attach the adhesive, I'm going to make sure that the screws are in the correct position. So I am going to insert them in here. And I'm going to hand tighten them a little bit so they stay in place. Remember, the two short screws go in here. The long one goes underneath. I'm going to tighten them down. Now for the one next to it. All right, those are fairly tight. I am gonna finish up after I get the last one in. So here is the last bolt. Gonna hand thread that one in here if I can get it. Doing this blindly here. There we go. All right. All right, that is done. Now I can push this 3M double-sided tape onto the car's plastic. Hold it down for a little bit. And now I am going to tighten these two bolts here the remaining way so they're nice and snug. All right, that one is in. All right, both are snug. Now I can take the fabric here, this fabric trim piece, and push it back underneath. The last thing I need to do is I have these two trim clips right here. One of them goes right here. Push it all the way in like that. And then just push on it with the pry bar. That will lock it in place. There we go. Then we have one last one up here. That goes in this opening. Little finesse here to get it in place. All right, and then we push that one in also. Push it down, and that one's locked. And we are now good. Now you can see the new Aero flap is now attached. It's flush with the outside surface, and I think it looks pretty good. Let me get a view around this side right here. Here I am above the rear of the car, and you can see this is the Fisker logo that came on the spoiler area, and the one that I got in the package today is right above it, and as you can see it's identical in size, just a different color. If you're interested in purchasing one like this, I think you can contact the company and specify the color that you want to receive it in, and they can make it for you and ship it out. As far as removal, you could most likely apply this vinyl over the existing vinyl or remove this and then install the new one, but that's going to take a bit more measurement. I would use some blue painter's tape to mark the edges for the lettering so that when you put the new vinyl down, it will match the existing. And so you can make sure that it's straight and level. For the next item, we're going to go and open the driver's door, and then we're going to access the under panel. Here is where the OBD-II port is located. Here we are by the footwell on the driver's seat, and this is the OBD-II port that's on the vehicle. And we'll take the adapter that came with this battery monitor, and then we're going to plug it in. So what we'll do is place it so that it has the narrow side towards the driver. And then we insert it and it snaps into place. And now we have the plug into the OBD-II connector. And at the other end, we have the monitor itself. As you can see, there's a little LED that lights up every once in a while to let you know that it's active. Here I have it just mounted to the windshield as just a temporary positioning. And as you can see, you can notice that the LED light is blinking. And then when you see it turned on, you'll know that there's an issue. So as I mentioned, you can place this anywhere in the vehicle that you would like. You can place it down by the phone chargers or the cup holder area, or even that area that's down right here, the storage bin. So it's up to you where you want to locate it. The battery monitor also has an LED facing the outside of the car, so you can see it here, as well as the one that's inside. And if it is flashing green, that means it is good. Flashing yellow means it needs to be charged, and flashing red means there's a problem. And that's it for the 12-volt battery monitor. When doing any work on the door handles, it's recommended to have them extended. Like I mentioned in the unboxing, there are 4 pieces for the door handles. And what you need to do is take each one off and then place it on the door handle itself. It's recommended to use either a soapy water solution after cleaning it with some isopropyl alcohol. Then you can straighten it out, press it down with the squeegee, and let it dry for at least 24 hours. And then you can do that for all 4 of the door handles as a preventive measure to keep these in good condition. If you have the issue of the inserts cracking, you need to replace them and put this insert in, and it fits in the exact area where this one is. So what you'll need is some tools for removing the door handle. I have a plastic pry bar, a small pry bar here, as well as a very thin screwdriver. So what you need to do is you need to pull off this handle here. There are some clips along here. When you purchase this, there will be a sheet of paper with the instructions showing you where the clips are. So what you need to do is carefully remove this cover. It is extremely likely that the clips will break. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it was designed. So once you have this removed, you'll have access to the inside area here. And then you'll use the trim tools again to peel this insert out. Once it's removed, you insert the new one in. It will snap into place. And then you will take the door handle, you're going to apply some super glue around specific areas of it, and then reinsert it into the door handle. It's suggested to use some blue painter's tape wrapped around it to keep it in position for at least 24 hours until the adhesive cures. Then you can do that for all the door handles that have that issue. By the way, here's a close-up of the insert itself. I want to give you a look at that. You can see the texture of the printing here. And it's also thinner on the inside so that the light from the LEDs can penetrate it. And that's the door handle insert. And that about wraps up my video today. Thanks again to River Rat Decals for sending me the welcome package for me to check out. I really enjoyed installing these components. especially the Aero flaps for the rear of the car. We also have the OBD battery monitor. We have the door handle PPF and also the door handle inserts for the LED lighting, as well as a number of other things, including the decals. So if you're interested in getting any of these items, please go to the links in the video description. Their store is on eBay, and I'm sure they're going to be adding more items over time. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.